angels, welcome back to a new video. Now I know normally I do music. I normally do makeup videos, and I've done my story, I've done vlogs. Thank you very much for all the support and love I've had off my story. I'm scared to look at the video because I'm obviously going to get hate comments. I seem to be very hated. But it just is what it is, and I've just got to carry on. But obviously Shane Dawson did try and come into the why do I keep saying music? Makeup industry and failed, and it's basically led to his cancellation. Also, I did buy a new microphone, a really good one. I've got all the pieces, but I need a cable that I don't have, so I've had to order another cable. I'm sick of sending things back at this point, but I'm just going to try and talk a little bit louder just to get into it. And I'm just going to give my opinion on the situation with Shane Dawson. Obviously I want to kind of show people what he's like. Now, my video isn't going to be anywhere near as good as someone called D'Angelo Wallace. He made an hour and 15-minute video on all this terrible stuff he's done. He's done one on Jeffree Star, and he's done one on Tati Westbrook as well. I will link that down below. It is an amazing video, and it just shows what an awful person he is. Now, this is just my opinion and just a brief of all the things that have happened. Now, Shane Dawson is a big person on YouTube. He has been ever since the start. He had 24 million followers. I'm saying had because he's had a cancellation recently, and we're just going to get into how he got to the point that he is now. So if you don't know who Shane Dawson is, his real name is Shane Lee Yaw. I don't know why I changed it to Dawson, but that is how it is, and this is how he's like.
So many editorial outlets knew that something was coming before I
because you message drama channels. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I struggled with the decision
Oh my
to
god.
film my video for days. The night before I did film, Jeffree sent me what he claimed was an audio file from an alleged victim and told me to listen to the pain in their voice. The audio was clearly a small portion of the conversation. It wasn't enough for me to contact the authorities. It was enough to scare me.
Well, then why would you make a video on the matter claiming these allegations?
Because she is a fucking... I can't. I don't want to say mean things about people. This is insane. This is insane. This person literally... Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Keep pressing play. I need to get through this video so I can fucking... Oh my god.
As a victim of abuse myself...
Oh my god.
Terrified.
You are so manipulative.
To think of facing public...
You're fake crying. You are fake crying. You are fake crying. That is not real. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Now, obviously, that is a disgusting clip because he is saying, like, just because someone's gone through bad times that they are manipulating everybody, but says him, and we're going to go into why says him. And yeah, so Shane in the past has been known for trying to revive people's careers who have been quite controversial. So we've got Tana Mojo and TanaCon. Apparently I look like Tana. I hope I'm nothing like her because she's been partying during a pandemic. She said people love being oppressed outside. She's just not a very nice person. She's been microaggressive. She's made racial comments, and she didn't address it for about 5 months. But then when she's got some beef going on with her ex Bella Thorne, she makes a video within 3 days. So she's just not a very nice person. And obviously he helped her, made everyone feel sorry for her, and then he made one on Jake Paul being a sociopath, and he brought in this woman called Katie Morton, who was a family therapist counsellor, to diagnose him as a sociopath. Now, also in this video, this is where Shane Dawson diagnosed himself as an empath and called himself empathetic.
Get them, and I want to help them, and all of that.
Because you're empathic.
So an empath. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's essentially like we feel for other people. Like that's the opposite. An antisocial personality disorder or a sociopath would be your antithesis, like the complete opposite. So every time you think, oh, but like that must really suck for them.
And he's been known ever since that Jake Paul documentary. I'm saying documentary in quotation marks. I hated this because it was like the whole point of this was 8 parts, I think it was, and it was like, was Jake Paul a sociopath? I had this dark music in the background. We're gonna like follow him, or we like do dangerous things. Like, Jake Paul is not a sociopath. Jake Paul is just a dickhead. We all know that he is. Nobody I know likes him. All of his fans have grown up, you know, nobody likes him anymore. Now he's just trying to make adult content and be a boxer. And he's also partying during a pandemic and saying it's not real. I think he's just saying it's not real, so then he's got an excuse for when he goes and parties. The recent parties he's had in Florida and LA are unbelievable. Everyone is like crammed like sardines and no one likes him. After that sociopath documentary, I kind of felt a little bit sorry for him, I'm not gonna lie, but he's just a horrible person. Just keeps doing what he's doing. And then obviously there's Jeffree Star, who he's most associated with. He's made 2 documentaries on him, and we're gonna get into those documentaries further into the video. Now, first of all, that is Shane's past for what people know. Now, what actually went on his past is a lot darker. So he's done blackface.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, it is me, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. How fly do I look? I mean, really. Cuckoo! So first things first, you're probably wondering, hey, where's JT? It was time to let go of him. And I just want to let you know that I, Liberty Van Fett, am choosing you to be my new object of affection.
My 7th favorite bodily fluid! Oh, bitch monkey woman, you're the best! I'm gonna eat this whole...
Stereotypical racism of other people. He also did a series with the Fine Bros surrounding a puppet called Millie. Basically this 8-year-old girl, whole like series or whatever it was, these videos were revolved around this 8-year-old puppet basically being sexually molested since she was young from Shane and the others.
What does coming mean? Can you explain it to me in graphic detail?
Yeah, I mean, no. Turn me on so bad.
So do you think maybe you'd come on to my channel one day?
I don't know, what does your channel look like?
It looks pink with lips.
I mean, it's been a little while since I've come down somebody's channel.
This is pretty much what's been my entire life since I was born.
Who thinks of doing that? You know, puppets are associated with children. This man's audience, and I think the Fine Bros audience, are people under the age of 18 for sure. You know, some of them probably are as young as 8, and they're seeing this as coming across as normal. Now these people are going to get away with it, and these young children aren't going to come out with what's going on with them. You know, and they're just going to think it's normal, and they're going to start making jokes about things that are this serious because they're seeing their favourite person on the internet with millions of followers doing it and who's really rich, you know? And it's not on at all. And then as well as the puppet and all the controversial people coming out, there was the Bobby Burns situation. Now this was something that first made people think, oh, Shane's not actually that really a good of a person, but everyone moved past it and said it was a mistake, and everyone makes mistakes. So basically first it came out, this boy called Bobby Burns made a video about Shane Dawson saying that
making terrible content.
So yeah, and so Shane saw the video, his fans were hating on him, and he flew him out to where he lives in LA, and he let him show what his life was like, and then he bought him his dream car, and then they were best friends. It's so manipulative, like, I'm gonna fly you out to LA, I'm gonna buy you all these things that you want, and then you have to like me, and then I'm gonna give you a part of my own show. Like, because he was being on Shane Dawson's channel after he tried to be like, right, I'm a good person, me and Bobby are best friends, people were hating on him so much. They were like, we're here for Shane, we don't like Bobby, Bobby doesn't like Shane, he's only using him for clout and money and fame. I think Shane also did that to him and then manipulated his audience and thinking that he is this empathetic, lovely person that he likes to portray on the internet. Then also in his past he has made Christmas music videos, he's made other music videos. I think they get copyright claim if I play them, but they had some songs were about making biscuits in the shape of dicks and putting them in kids' mouths. That's just weird. And then there was a film he made called Not Cool. He directed it and he also starred in it as the popular guy that everybody loves. Weird. And it was sexist, it was racist. I think it has some homophobic jokes in it. Now I find it really weird that he has made homophobic jokes because he is bisexual himself. He's currently engaged to his partner Ryland. I don't understand that. About every person who feels insecure about themselves because of their race or their sexuality or their gender or whatever, you know, you can't be making jokes about it. So that came out, and there were those jokes, and then there was a homeless man eating feces, and you know, it wasn't a good film. And he even said it's directed towards his younger audience. Like, I don't care that middle-aged white men are judging my video my film when it's not for them. It says you, who likes to judge things as they are, and you're making jokes about, you know, people being slightly different than the average white male, to be judging this film when you're like stereotypical of anyone who's not a white man. Are you? So that came out, and then a documentary came out with it, and he was rude to the staff.
Top till we get to Scott and Tori.
24 minutes?
I think if we do a cut, just take that scene out. I honestly don't even think you're gonna miss it.
We can try.
We can try it.
I don't want to do that right now.
Why can't we do it right now? Cut.
That's why you're here for a couple days, and I just felt like after we watched it, I'd rather like be excited and talk about the movie, like just jumping into it being like, this is the problem.
No,
it's like,
but
well,
this is, can't not say anything. I'm not gonna sit here and just tell you like, it's done, it's ready to go.
so we've been working our off on this for it's awesome. I think it's really good. If you guys told me, like, hey, I think there's a lot of work to it, I'd be like, okay, great, let's do it.
You won't read the notes?
I want to see all the notes.
You said the opposite to me. You specifically told me that night, you guys are gonna send me the notes and I'm never gonna read them.
I mean, as a joke.
But it's been a week and you haven't read them either, so
I don't know where they are. Because I knew you guys were gonna come and say, hey, listen, this is the consensus from the cards.
That's different than reading them.
I'm supposed to read every single part?
I read every single one.
I'm interested to hear, like, specific things.
The one note from over half the people that wrote it on the cards was, the movie was too long, I had issues with the pacing.
Very bossy, very rude, and just horrible to the people he's working with. It looked like everyone was having a mental breakdown by the looks of things. Also in his past, which didn't resurface until a very, very long time after, was a video of him jerking off, as they say, to 11-year-old Willow Smith. Now that's Will Smith's daughter and Jaden Smith's sister, and this was a very disturbing, disgusting video.
Oh, whip your hair back and forth. Oh.
Now getting on to the Secret World of Jeffree Star documentary that he made. Now, it's not exactly a Secret World of Jeffree Star because he likes to show off that he's bought a $200,000 Rolex and he lives in a $15 million mansion, and he likes to show off all these Pomeranians and all his Birkin bag collections and the Gucci tracksuits and the Louis Vuitton tracksuits and everything that he owns. He likes to show off everything that is designer. He just loves and loves to show off what he's doing. We all know what he's doing because he shows it off all the time. Even if you're not trying to look for him, he's there on my fucking Snapchat story showing off his Louis Vuitton tracksuit that he bought today, or his mink slippers, you know. Well, the trailer showed that he was gonna be at the drama about Dramageddon 2. So there's Dramageddon 1, which involved Jeffree, Laura Lee, Manu MUA and Gabriel Zamora. Now obviously they're not friends, they're doing their own thing now, good on them. Now Dramageddon 2 was when Tati made that video saying that James was a sexual predator and he lost millions and millions of subs. Obviously those accusations ended up not being true, no proof. James told everyone that they showed evidence that this is not the case in what was being said, and he gained back. He was gaining subs more and more, and everyone liked his content. He was being like humble after that situation, and everyone started liking him again. But after that was what the trailer was teasing for the Secret World of Jeffree Star, that we were going to find out what happened behind the scenes, what was going on. Maybe we'd have Tati, maybe we'd have James, maybe everything would be okay now. And after 10 episodes, it ended up being a big massive promotion for their conspiracy palette that they made, this eyeshadow palette that they made. You know, the palette in itself looks okay. Half of the shades I wouldn't use, some of them do look the same. But basically what happened is Shane used Jeffree for money, and Jeffree used Shane to build up his reputation again for being a horrible person and a racist, basically. And after a few episodes, this show got really, really boring. I tried watching it, well, I'll call it a show, but it got really boring, and I just watched it because I know other people watched it. Everyone loved Shane. I didn't love Shane. I didn't ever subscribe to him. I thought there was always something off about this man, but I watched it, and I just thought everyone else is watching it. Oh, they're an hour long. It's something to do. You know, I've got my ad block turned on, so I don't get any ads. I'm not giving any money to them at the end of the day. So I just watched it, and I was just so bored until you see the picture and the video of Shane Dawson crying in a Balenciaga jumper, crying that he is poor and it like nothing goes right for him and everything's sad and he has a tough life and he's got a $3 million mansion, and you know, There are people having to use the food bank every week, and you're there sitting crying in a Balenciaga jumper like, I'm so poor. Maybe don't buy a $3 million mansion if you are actually poor when you're not. I'm just saying, don't buy things that you don't necessarily need if you are poor. But you've got the best life possible. You've got a pool in your garden, you know, you live with your fiance, you can afford practically anything. You've got nice cars, you know, you've got loads of pets and you can afford to maintain them. Why are you saying that you're poor and crying in a Balenciaga jumper? But after that, I just started taking the piss out of this series. I was like watching, I was like, oh, what can I laugh about today? Because I actually was really bored. But when I started laughing about things like that, it actually was like, next episode, let's see why everyone's so poor and upset today. You know, what difficulties do these people have today? So difficult, their life, isn't it? So after the palette came out and the series came out and people were like, well, it wasn't about the drama, so what's going on? Things were just resurfacing saying that Jeffrey's still not a nice person and Shane's not possibly a nice person, but everyone's like, oh no, Shane has never done anything wrong, he's nice to other people. Can't be Shane, can't be anything wrong with Shane at all. And then someone called Cameron Lester came out saying that Shane Dawson was going off on James Charles once, you know, the person who lost all them subs, for being accused of things he hadn't done. He basically said that he was going off, he was not a nice person. Shane was not that person that he portrays online.
Like, we're gonna just keep giving you breadcrumbs and hanging you by a string and manipulating you so you can stay quiet, so you will never speak your truth, so you won't talk about that situation in the hotel that Shane was going off and cursing out James and on FaceTime. I remember Shane Dawson called and he was going off about James Charles and something and telling, like, just like cursing James out, and I was just like kind of taken back because I've never seen Shane Dawson like that, and he was just going in on James.
And Jeffrey was trying to say that James wasn't a nice person, he doesn't like him and everyone should turn on him, and we were all just a bit thrown back. Oscar Wilde came out saying that Jeffrey wasn't a nice person. Then someone called Ashley Kyle, a YouTuber, she came out with messages showing that Jeffrey had messaged her and was on his payroll and he was telling her things like, karma's coming to James, James is a nice person, what's coming out is really, really bad.
On April 29th, Jeffree Star texted me and said, there are so many dark things that are going to come to light soon, and none of them involve me. Just buckle up. So I texted him back and I said, oh no, I hope not, James. I can't make another video on him in a row, but I'm ready. I've been sent so much stuff today just about him. I am at a loss. And you guys know that. And I meant that because you guys were so tired of James Charles videos. And he said, it's all going to come out. Whatever you think that means, it's 10 times worse.
He knew Tati was making this video, and if Jeffrey knew, then Shane must have known. And things just started to resurface a little bit more. So what Shane does is he addresses it on Twitter and says he knew Tati was making the video, but had no say in it. Because a week before this, Tati did make another video because all these accusations were coming out. So she made a video and she basically said Shane offered to edit the video, Shane offered to help and give support to her basically. And so people were desperate for this video from Tati, and when she came out with it, she was then getting a load of hate saying this isn't Shane, blah blah blah, like you're just making this up. But we were hearing all these accusations as well, and then he came out with that live that I showed you at the start saying that she was a manipulative and she was lying, and that caused him to lose 100,000 subscribers just in one day because that was a horrible video. That is just, he was obviously saying like what she's saying isn't true and she's manipulating her audience by saying that she's been through things that I've also been through. Like, you're not the only person who goes through things. Everyone goes through tough times. Everyone unfortunately goes through traumatic times in their life. So then he addressed it on Twitter and he was like, yeah, I knew she was making the video, but I didn't have any problems with it and I didn't have any say in it. And then he started defending Jeffree Star by saying, oh, he is the way he is because he's Jeffree Star and he's so rich. And I'm like, why are you excusing his behaviour because he's rich? Or just because you're like pally with him and he's helped you with your career does not mean you should be defending someone who's been, you know, apparently saying the N-word, spitting on people, being horrible to other people. You know, when any time there's drama, so there's Dramageddon 1, Dramageddon 2, and now this was Carmageddon, apparently, or Dramageddon 3, you know, he was always involved. So people started coming for him as well as Shane. And then he made a big, massive, long Twitter apology saying, like, I'm not in the beauty world anymore. I am done. This is it for me. And I'm thinking, you were never in the beauty world to begin with. This was a money-making scheme for you. But get your bag at the end of the day. Get your coin. If people buy it, then people buy it. You know? When that came out, everyone was still unfollowing him. We were just like, what the hell is going on? No one trusts you anymore. So a YouTube video basically apologising. Now, there were many things wrong with this video. One, he said the only reason that he was making it is because he was inspired by Jenna Marbles, who owned up to her past without being called out and left the platform because she didn't agree with what she did back in the day. And, you know, good on her for just coming out and waiting until she was called out to do it. And everybody loved Jenna Marbles, you know. So that was the first mistake. Second of all, he did not address that Willow Smith situation at all, which was one of the most disturbing accusations that were being made. Third of all, he was like, I will never ever talk about a child like that in a sexual way. It's disgusting. That's not me. I was just being a child molester character. But you did.
And I turned it into jokes. And I think instead of joking about them so much, I probably should have just went to therapy earlier and talked about them. I swear on my life, I am not somebody who would ever talk about a child, like in seriousness. I would never talk about a child in any way that was inappropriate. That is disgusting. That is gross. It is not something I would ever do. It is something I did for shock value or because I thought it was funny or like, oh my God, my child molester character or whatever.
And there are other things I haven't talked about because the evidence, but he has said called a 6-year-old cheerleader sexy in a podcast.
And the kid turns to me and goes, oh, are you Instagramming? And first of all, how does a 5-year-old, 6-year-old know what Instagram is?
Right.
Which is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, I was embarrassed because yes, I was, and it was a picture of my salad. And the 6-year-old girl goes, oh, how many followers do you have? I have 125,000.
No.
Her dick was almost as big as mine.
Really?
And I said, okay, little big dick, why do you have so many followers? And she goes, oh, I'm a cheerleader. And I'm like, oh, really? And she shows me her Instagrams, which are like, first of all, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like, she's like sexy.
And he laughed that a child died from being by a family because she was so young, and you know, things like that were still coming out, and he did not apologize for any of these things. And the Millie situation and the blackface and the being rude on the film he made and behind the scenes, and he was like, oh well, I was only 20 back then. I'm thinking I'm 20 now. You don't see me making blackface, you don't see me making jokes about being sexually molested or sexually molesting others. You know, you either don't know where the line is or you think this is normal. And it's not normal. I'm sorry, hon, it is not normal. So after that, he decided to, well, he didn't decide to, Target decided to remove all of his books. So he removed all his books from Target. Jeffree Star and his palette, the conspiracy palette, was in TK Maxx, and even Jeffree Star himself said this is where palettes go to die. Convenient. So Morphe dropped Jeffree Star everywhere. YouTube even demonetized his channel. So this cancellation was going far. He was losing millions of subs, hundreds and thousands of subs really quickly in such a short period of time for this empath that everybody knew. Now, ever since then, he's been making a comeback very slowly, coming on his boyfriend's channel, fiance's channel. He's been going on their podcast. He's been putting things on his Instagram story, engaging with his audience. He's released merch saying, oh well, I've just released new merch and you don't have to buy it, but it would really mean a lot to me if you bought it, and no pressure and everything, but I've just come out with some new stuff and it means a lot to me and I worked so hard on this. You are just seeing if you still have fans. I've been on the website, nothing's sold out, so you obviously still, I don't think you would have made a large quantity of things because of what's just happened, so you still do have fans, but I don't think they actually want to buy your merch and be seen out with your merch, because they probably get a lot of hate for it. And he's been playing things like Animal Crossing, which are really wholesome games, and I think that's just come across as wholesome, and he's been engaging with the audience. And I think he wants to see if on YouTube and Instagram, if he still has these fans and people want to see him back. It's testing the waters, absolutely. And it came out not long ago that he has got a comeback planned. He has been he's been on a break, but we've seen nothing but interaction from him and on social media. It's a bit weird. Like, it's like he's probably going to say like, oh, I'm poor, I need to come back and make my money when YouTube. I think YouTube has remonetized him again, which is a bit weird after just a few months. Like, just because the situation's died down doesn't mean the people he's probably affected and the things he did are gone, you know? And during this time when he was coming back, Jeffree Star made a doing what's right video, and he posed like this, and he was like, well, I've done a lot of horrible things, but Breonna Taylor, who's a person of colour, has been killed, so we need to pay more attention to that, and people are marching on the streets for Black Lives Matter.
I removed myself. And did I get swept up into the bullshit again? Of course I did. And for that, I'm forever embarrassed of. Now, Breonna Taylor still has no justice. Black trans women are being murdered every day and the news is silent. Elijah McClain has no justice, and the countless other people who are murdered every single day while everyone just goes about their business like nothing's happening.
Like, this doesn't, yes, that is happening right now, but this doesn't excuse your behaviour. You've been saying the N-word to people, and you even said, oh, I haven't even said it to black people, I've been saying it to white people. It doesn't make a difference, you still said it, but you are racist, and then you're using like racism problems to deflect what you've done in the past, which isn't on. But meanwhile, the only person who's actually publicly defended him is Trisha Paytas. Now, Trisha Paytas is a very problematic person in herself. I'm surprised Shane hasn't made a video on her yet, or documentary as he likes to call them, because Jeffree Star has been out living his life, going on his private jet, going to live in Wyoming, this, that and the other, and not publicly defended Shane. Trisha has, Ryland partly has, Shane hasn't said anything except for his apology, which was awful. So, but then one of Jeffree Star's old hairstylists came out saying that, really angry on a live stream, that Trisha has bad skin. When he's done with her, she's going to look anorexic, which is horrible to say in itself, that she's fat, that she's this, she's boring. Apparently they threw her designer Balenciaga stuff in the trash, well, the bin, the trash as they call it, which is horrible, horrible stuff. This is bullying stuff. And Ryland came out on a podcast saying, oh, I just wanted this drama to play out and I wish she'd come to me personally. She said that she came to you personally and you're just deflecting it. Shane didn't come out and defend her, even though she's been defending him from the beginning. They've been friends for 12 years. Not even Jeffree Star came out. Jeffree Star fired the person and said like, oh, well, I've apologised to Trisha for what happened. So you admit that it happened. And she doesn't have to accept your apology anyway because of all the nasty, horrible stuff you've done. So he fired him, and then no one else came to defend Trisha when Trisha's been defending these really problematic people that she's been friends with for so long. And she said that, you know, I've been having to delete things where Shane did all these dodgy things, and I think I just opened my eyes at what is next for him is the question. I don't think he's going to do a documentary on what he's been doing because, first of all, we're in a pandemic and you can't really be doing that much. I hope he's not doing that much or flying around and to and from places anywhere and partying like most influencers are. But I personally think it's going to be the wedding between him and his fiancée, because weddings are wholesome. People don't hate on weddings. And also, it's a man getting married to a man. Like, if you hate on that, you are going to be considered homophobic, aren't you? Straight away. And it's not, you're going to get loads of hate for it. And I think he was going to come back soon, but obviously now all these things with Trisha and this hairstylist and Jeffree have gone down that I don't think he's going to be coming back, or it's going to be delayed anyway to when he does come back. I don't think cancel culture works. I do believe in deplatforming, like things that are borderline criminal, like, you know, Onision's still on the platform, borderline criminal activity, you know. Same with Jeffree, same with Shane, and that's just the end of the video. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.